10 luxury cars you must avoid. One has an Audi transmission so bad, it's called an engineering catastrophe. Others hide flaws that can lead to an $8,000 repair bill more than the car is worth. We're counting down the 10 luxury cars with the absolute worst transmissions, from a German icon to a Japanese legend. Stay tuned. Worst number 10. Acura TL 2000 to 2004. The reliability myth. Coming in at number 10 is a car that should have been a poster child for reliability. The Acura TL. For years, Honda and its luxury division, Acura, were the gold standard. A 2003 model with a starting MSRP of around $29,000 came with a 3.2-liter V6 engine, producing a healthy 225 horsepower. But this generation of the TL, along with its sibling, the Acura CL, and the Honda Accord V6, was plagued by a catastrophic flaw in its 5-speed automatic transmission. The core of the problem? Heat. Under certain operating conditions, heat would build up between the countershaft and secondary shaft second gears in the automatic transmission, eventually leading to gear tooth chipping or gear breakage. When that happened, the transmission could lock up, creating an extremely dangerous situation that could result in a crash, especially at highway speeds. The issue was so widespread that American Honda had to issue a massive recall covering over 1.09 million vehicles across multiple Honda and Acura models, including the Acura TL 2000 to 2004, Acura CL 2001 to 2003, Acura MDX 2001 to 2002, Honda Accord 2003 to 2004, Honda Odyssey 2002 to 2004, and Honda Pilot 2003 to 2004. The recall remedy worked in 2 stages depending on mileage. On vehicles with 15,000 miles or less, dealers would perform a simple revision to the oil cooler return line to increase lubrication to the second gear. On vehicles with more than 15,000 miles, dealers would inspect the transmission for gears that had already experienced discoloration due to overheating. If damage was found, the entire transmission had to be replaced. For a brand built on engineering excellence, the TL's transmission was a major blow and a costly lesson for owners who expected their luxury sedan to be bulletproof. Worst number 9. Mini Cooper 2002 to 2008. CVT models. The mechanical hand grenade. Next on our list, at number 9, is a car known for its personality, the Mini Cooper. But if you're shopping for a used first-gen non-S base model, you need to know about its automatic transmission. A 2006 base model started at an accessible $18,800 and was powered by a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder, making 115 horsepower. The optional automatic was a continuously variable transmission, or CVT, and it has a notorious reputation for being a mechanical hand grenade. The Mini's CVT was so prone to failure, it led to multiple class action lawsuits. The transmission was known for spontaneously failing, often before the car even hit 100,000 miles. The most common failure? The metal segmented drive belt inside the transmission would break apart, scattering hundreds of small metal segments throughout the unit, destroying the gears and the transmission case, and leaving the car completely disabled. It's worth noting that the CVT was available in the R50 hardtop from 2002 to 2006, and in the R52 convertible from 2005 to 2008. The second-generation hardtop that arrived for 2007 used an entirely different transmission, so it's the earlier cars buyers need to watch out for. The worst part? The cost to replace it often exceeded the value of the car itself, with the full repair range running $6,000 to $9,000, and many dealerships quoting over $8,000. The class action lawsuit noted that repair costs amounted to roughly 1/3 to 1/2 of the car's original purchase price. While the manual versions are celebrated for being fun and reliable, the CVT-equipped models are a ticking time bomb that many owners discovered the hard way. Worst number 8. Jeep Cherokee 2014 to 2015. The 40 miles per hour death shudder. At number 8, the 2014 to 2015 Jeep Cherokee. When this SUV launched, its advanced 9-speed ZF transmission promised smooth shifts and great fuel economy. With a starting price of $22,995 for the base 2014 model, it came with a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine, producing 184 horsepower. What it delivered was a litany of problems that led to multiple recalls and lawsuits. Owners reported a host of alarming issues: rough, jerky shifting, sudden drops into neutral while driving, and severe hesitation when accelerating. The driving experience could be painful, but the most infamous problem was what became known as the 40 miles per hour death shudder. Owners described a violent vibration and lurching behavior through the gears approaching highway speeds that would shake the entire vehicle, making it feel as though the SUV was tearing itself apart. It is worth noting that the 40 miles per hour description was colloquial shorthand among owners. The rough behavior was documented across a range of speeds and gear changes, not exclusively at 40 miles per hour. Fiat Chrysler issued multiple software updates and technical service bulletins over several years trying to fix the issues. For many, the problems persisted. The issues spawned a class action lawsuit, Granillo et al. Versus FCA, filed in August 2015, with plaintiffs claiming the transmission posed a serious safety hazard and caused sudden loss of power. FCA ultimately agreed to a settlement that included an extended warranty for all affected owners and cash payments of up to $2,000 or trade-in vouchers of up to $4,000 for those with multiple documented complaints. A separate 2016 recall covering over 400,000 vehicles, including 2014 to 2015 Cherokees and other FCA models, was also issued for a wiring harness defect that could cause the transmission to suddenly lose propulsion. For a vehicle marketed on rugged capability, the 9-speed transmission proved to be its weakest link. Worst number 7. Ford PowerShift DCT, Focus, and Fiesta. The epic failure. For number 7, we have a transmission so notoriously bad, it tarnished Ford's reputation for years. The PowerShift dual-clutch transmission in the 2011 to 2016 Ford Fiesta and 2012 to 2016 Ford Focus. Ford designed and marketed its PowerShift transmission as a more advanced and fuel-efficient alternative to a traditional manual or automatic transmission, essentially an automated manual with a dry clutch system. The 2014 Focus, for example, featured a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 160 horsepower. That engineering decision would prove to be a disaster. Owners almost immediately reported severe shuddering, bucking, and jerking. The transmission suffered from slipping, hesitation, delayed acceleration, and sudden lurching forward, especially in stop-and-go traffic, where the dry clutches were under constant stress and prone to overheating. This not only created a miserable driving experience, but led to premature internal wear and catastrophic failure. Ford found itself buried under an avalanche of complaints and multiple class action lawsuits. The company actively concealed the problem, telling customers that the shuddering and erratic behavior were simply normal driving conditions. Internal documents uncovered by the Detroit Free Press suggested Ford was aware of the defects and chose to continue manufacturing and selling the affected vehicles regardless. Ultimately, Ford settled a major lawsuit in 2020 for $77 million, far beyond what tens of millions implies compensating approximately 7,000 drivers and buying back select vehicles. The fallout didn't stop there. Ford was handed a $10 million fine in Australia for unconscionable conduct and faced a fraud investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice. Litigation continued well into 2022, with owners of 2017 to 2019 Focus and Fiesta models filing new lawsuits as the same transmission problems persisted. The PowerShift saga stands as one of the most significant transmission failures in modern automotive history. Worst number 6. Hyundai 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. The dangerous gamble. Continuing the theme of failed DCTs, number 6 is Hyundai's 7-speed DCT, found in the Tucson, Sonata Eco, Elantra Eco, and Veloster, starting around 2015 to 2016. Like Ford's PowerShift, it was supposed to be a leap forward. A 2016 Tucson with this transmission offered a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 175 horsepower, and pricing started around $24,000 for the Eco trim. Instead, it delivered headaches and a major class action lawsuit. The core problem was the transmission control module and the clutch system's tendency to overheat. Owners reported a dangerous hesitation or shudder when accelerating from a stop. The transmission could delay engagement, or in some cases, fail to accelerate at all. This made simple maneuvers like pulling into traffic a nerve-wracking gamble. Hyundai faced significant legal action, with lawsuits alleging the company knew about the problems, but continued to sell the vehicles. They eventually settled, agreeing to warranty extensions, cash reimbursements of up to $675 per qualifying owner, full reimbursement for DCT repair costs, and compensation for lost trade-in value, with the total settlement value estimated at $41.2 million. Tellingly, Hyundai quietly phased out the problematic 7-speed DCT, with the Tucson dropping it in favor of a conventional 8-speed automatic, starting with the 2019 model year. A clear admission the tech wasn't ready. If you're finding this research helpful, and it's maybe saving you from a future financial headache, smash that like button. It helps us get this warning out to more people. Worst number 5. Subaru CVT, Ascent, Legacy, Outback, The Broken Promise. Coming in at number 5 is a brand built on reliability, Subaru. However, the company's reputation took a significant hit with its CVT, particularly in the 2019 to 2020 Ascent and the 2020 to 2021 Turbo Legacy and 2020 to 2021 Turbo Outback. The 2020 Ascent, a 3-row SUV, started at a base price of $31,995 and was powered by a 2.4-liter turbocharged boxer engine, making 260 horsepower. The failures triggered a major safety recall, affecting 198,255 vehicles in the US. The issue was a critical programming error in the transmission control unit, TCU. The control unit could allow the clutch to engage before the drive chain was completely clamped. If the drive chain was improperly secured, it could slip and eventually break, causing a loss of drive power and increasing the risk of a crash. Subaru initiated a recall, designated WRK21, in which dealers would reprogram the TCU, inspect the TCU data for evidence of chain slip, and visually inspect the chain guide. If evidence of chain slippage or damage to the chain guide was found, the full transmission assembly would be replaced. All repairs were performed free of charge. But for owners of the heavy 3-row Ascent, pairing a turbocharged engine with a CVT already under stress proved to be a difficult combination. Worst number 4. Infiniti models with CVT, the luxury illusion. At number 4, we have Nissan's luxury arm, Infiniti. Given the parent company's long and troubled history with CVTs, it is no surprise these issues plagued its premium brand. A 2017 Infiniti QX60 started at an MSRP of $43,100 for the front-wheel drive base trim and featured a 3.5-liter V6, notably a new engine for 2017, making 295 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque, up from 265 horsepower and 248 pound-feet in prior years, all routed through a CVT. The QX60 was not alone. Infiniti switched the QX50 from a 7-speed automatic to a continuously variable transmission, beginning with the 2019 model year, meaning CVT-related frustrations expanded to that model as well. Together, these vehicles left many owners facing expensive and demoralizing repairs. One of the most reported problems is shuddering, or jerking during normal driving. Many drivers first notice it when pressing the gas, and the car hesitates before speeding up, feeling as though the vehicle is struggling to find power, or that the engine is working harder than it should. This completely shatters the illusion of a smooth, luxury driving experience. Beyond poor performance, these transmissions are known for premature failure. Warning signs include violent shaking and jerking during acceleration, grinding noises particularly in cold weather, and a sudden, dangerous loss of drive power. Mechanics and legal experts have traced these failures back to the transmission cooler, which is not adequately able to cool the unit, leading to overheating, accelerated internal wear, and eventual failure. In late 2021, Nissan agreed to a $277.7 million class action settlement to resolve claims that certain Nissan and Infiniti vehicles have defective CVT transmissions, and agreed to reimburse affected drivers up to $5,000 for out-of-pocket repairs that occurred under warranty. However, many owners paid far more than that. Cap repair costs range from $1,500 to $4,000 for partial work, while a full replacement can run $4,500 to $7,500. Owners who fell outside the settlement window or warranty coverage were left to foot the entire bill. Notably, the 2022 QX60 abandoned the CVT entirely in favor of a 9-speed automatic transmission, a quiet but telling admission by Infiniti that the CVT experiment had failed its luxury customers. Worst number 3. Nissan's Jatco CVT, Murano, Maxima, Pathfinder. The reliability disaster. It's impossible to have a list of the worst transmissions without dedicating a top spot to the company that became the face of CVT failure, Nissan. At number 3, We're talking about the infamous Jatco CVTs, used across a huge range of Nissan vehicles, including higher-end models like the Murano, Maxima, and Pathfinder. A 2015 Murano SFWD started at an MSRP of $29,560 and used a 3.5-liter V6 with 260 horsepower. This represents one of the longest-running transmission disasters in the auto industry. The problems are legendary: shuddering, hesitation, loss of power, and complete failure at shockingly low mileage. The fundamental flaw in many of these was a flow control valve in the oil pump that wears and scores over time, often accelerated by metal debris circulating in the CVT fluid, causing it to stick and produce a severe loss of hydraulic pressure. This allowed the steel push belt to slip and grind itself away, sending destructive debris throughout the system in a compounding failure cycle. Nissan has been buried in class action lawsuits for years, and while they offered warranty extensions and settlements, the problem persisted for so long that many owners of older affected models found their warranties had already expired. There's a reason these vehicles are often so cheap on the used market. Worst number 2, Ford Explorer and Lincoln Aviator 10-speed automatic, the modern mess. At number 2, a more modern and surprising entry, the 10-speed automatic, co-developed by Ford and GM. It has been particularly problematic in the 2020 and newer Ford Explorer and its luxurious counterpart, the Lincoln Aviator. The 2020 Aviator, with a starting price of $52,195, boasted a potent 400 horsepower, twin-turbo 3-liter V6. What was supposed to be a state-of-the-art gearbox has turned into a source of major reliability complaints. Owners have reported a range of disturbing issues, from harsh, jerky shifting and lunging to complete transmission failure. A widespread problem involves erratic and sudden hard shifts, unexpected power loss, and vehicles slipping out of gear. There have also been multiple recalls related to the transmission, including one involving a loose bolt inside the 10R60 unit, and a separate recall where an unintentional powertrain control module, PCM, reset could damage the park system, allowing the vehicle to roll away. For buyers of the premium Lincoln Aviator, who paid a significant premium for refinement, the rough and unreliable performance has been a massive disappointment. It's a stark reminder that even the newest technologies from major automakers can come with serious hidden flaws, though improvements have been noted in the latest model years. Worst number 1, Audi A4 Multitronic CVT, the engineering catastrophe. And now, for the number 1 worst luxury car transmission, the Audi Multitronic. Found in front-wheel drive versions of the A4 and A6, from roughly 2000 to 2014, this transmission represents one of the most notorious failures in modern luxury car history. A 2005 A4 1.8T sedan with the Multitronic started around $25,800 and used a 1.8-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Audi marketed it as a marvel of engineering. The reality was a catastrophe waiting to happen. The single biggest design flaw, placing the transmission control unit, TCU, inside the transmission housing, where it was constantly bathed in hot fluid. The intense heat would eventually cook the electronics, causing the TCU to fail. Drivers would get a flashing PRNDS indicator, all gear selector lights illuminating simultaneously, followed by severe jerking, an inability to select reverse, and ultimately, complete transmission failure. These transmissions were known to fail in as little as 60,000 miles, particularly in earlier models built before 2006. The repair costs typically ranged from $2,500 to $8,000, depending on the extent of the damage, with a full transmission replacement potentially running higher enough to make many owners consider scrapping the car entirely. The problem was so widespread that a class action lawsuit was filed in the United States in 2011, which Audi ultimately settled by extending warranty coverage to 10 years or 100,000 miles for affected owners. Audi eventually killed off the Multitronic entirely in 2014, replacing it with the S-Tronic dual-clutch transmission. It stands as the ultimate example of a luxury brand, leaving a trail of furious owners and dead Audis in its wake. So there you have it, 10 luxury cars with transmissions that could absolutely destroy your finances. Avoid the Acura TL's overheating automatic, the Mini Cooper's hand grenade CVT, the Jeep Cherokee's 9-speed death shudder, Ford's disastrous PowerShift DCT, Hyundai's hesitating 7-speed DCT, Subaru's chain-snapping CVT, Infiniti's shuddering CVT, Nissan's legendary Jatco CVT failures, the 2020 Plus Explorer and Aviator's jerky 10-speed, and the king of failures, the Audi Multitronic. Luxury isn't just about a badge. It's about the confidence that you won't regret your purchase in 5 years. Before you buy any used luxury car, do your research. A few hours of homework can save you from a multi-thousand-dollar repair bill and the heartbreak of owning a driveway ornament. Have you owned any of the cars on this list? Share your horror story in the comments below to help warn other buyers. And if you want more content that exposes the best and worst in the automotive world, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.